What's going on, everybody? Sports Expert here, and we are doing our Week 7 NFL Power Rankings here. So before we get started, please hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. We do this every week with Power Rankings, picks, a ton of NFL content, trade predictions, mock drafts, everything. Comment down below what you think about these Power Rankings and where you think your team stands. Like the video, it helps in the algorithm liking. I would really appreciate it. And turn on the post notification bell, obviously. So I would really appreciate that. So let's get started with the Power Rankings. At 32, we have the Detroit Lions, and the Detroit Lions are now the only winless team in football as they're 0-6. Dan Campbell's first season not going too great, but at the same time, the Lions have been hosed some weeks, so I don't know what to say about that, but they're just not a very good football team overall. Injuries have caught them too. Frank Ragnow is out for, I'm not sure, a while. I think he might be out for the year. And also, TJ Hawkinson's been playing hurt. DeAndre Swift's been playing hurt. A lot of players have been playing hurt. So, yeah, Hawkinson and Swift, not good. At 31, we have the Houston Texans. The Texans are coming off a 31-3 loss versus the Colts. I don't know how they beat Jacksonville Week 1. That was insane. I know it was with Tyrod Taylor, but still. Is this team really that better with Tyrod Taylor? I don't know. But at the same time, Texans are a bad team, and they'll be fighting for a top 3 pick. At 30, we have the Miami Dolphins. That's a team that won't be fighting for a top 3 pick as they traded it to the Philadelphia Eagles. They have no idea who their quarterback is going to be next season because Tua Tagovailoa does not look like a franchise guy. Obviously, Jacoby Brissett isn't that good. So Deshaun Watson comes in question. Will they acquire him? Will they be aggressive enough? I don't know. But at this point, they may have to be. At 29, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're coming off their first win of the season over the Miami Dolphins, and Urban Meyer couldn't be happier. Big win for him, good for him, and yeah, the Jaguars needed it. Trevor Lawrence with this first NFL win. Jaguars look like a better team now. They almost beat the Bengals, so if there were some better coaching decisions, the Jaguars could have 3 wins. At 28, we have the New York Giants. The Giants are coming off a terrible loss, 38-11 to the Los Angeles Rams. This team just isn't ready to compete, and they probably need a tear down at this point. I mean, Dave Gettleman just really screwed up that franchise. It looked like they were trending in the right direction last season, but obviously they're not. And they probably need a quarterback change as well. Daniel Jones is not it. At 27, we have the New York Jets. The Jets are coming off a bye. And, yeah, I mean, Zach Wilson, not sure if he'll be the franchise guy. His accuracy problems are a bit concerning to me. He has some solid weapons, though. Jamison Crowder, Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims. But he's got to be better, you know. And Elijah Moore has to step it up a bit, too. I've been disappointed with him. Maybe it's just because he's on the Jets. Wouldn't be surprised. But, you know. At 26, we have the Denver Broncos. They're 3-3 now, and they're one of the worst teams in football. I mean, they beat some trash teams, and they can't beat anyone. What a surprise. The Broncos, they play Thursday night versus the Browns. I know the Browns are banged up, but I think the Browns easily win that game. Sorry, Denver fans, but you guys are just not a very good football team right now. I kind of knew it from the beginning, and I was right. I think most people knew that too. But the Broncos are now 3-3, and they need a quarterback as well. How many teams need a quarterback? At 25, I have the Philadelphia Eagles here. And the Philadelphia Eagles, they're coming off a loss versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A bit of a closer game, as the score says, but at the same time, I feel like the Buccaneers still dominated them. And Jalen Hurts has a lot of accuracy problems. And another team that might need a quarterback. I don't know if Hurts is the guy, but I think they're willing to give him another shot. And, you know, more time, which would make sense. At 24, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off a win versus the Seattle Seahawks in overtime. Almost lost to Geno Smith. If it weren't for T.J. Watt, the Steelers lose this game. I mean, don't get it twisted. The Steelers still aren't a very good football team. I mean, they really, really should have arguably lost. What if DK Metcalf goes out of bounds? There's 12 seconds left. They could pull something crazy off. You don't know. But yeah. Big Ben looks washed. He fumbled without anyone touching him. That's sad. At 23, we have the Washington football team coming off a 31-13 loss versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Taylor Heinicke's not a very good football player, and people believe that after one game, which really is weird. I mean, you can't believe stuff like that after just one game. Can't happen. and their defense has been really disappointing so far. At 22, we have the Seattle Seahawks, obviously coming off a loss versus Pittsburgh. Played better than I expected. I don't know, I thought maybe Pittsburgh would come away with this one pretty easily, but took them to OT. Alex Collins looks solid, and they're going to need him to stay solid as Chris Carson goes on IR. At 21, we have the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons, I mean, I think they're all right. The offense is getting it together a bit more. Matt Ryan, I mean, he's a solid quarterback still. He just needs the right pieces around him. Don't know if they trade him or anything, but maybe he stays in Atlanta his rest of his career. They haven't been targeting quarterbacks, so who knows. At 20, we have the Chicago Bears. The Bears are coming off a loss versus the Packers. It was a good game by the Bears, but obviously their offense probably wasn't going to hold up with the Packers, and it didn't. I don't think there was a much surprise there, as Justin Fields looks all right. But like I said, not much of a surprise that the Bears lost to the Packers. But I think the Bears definitely have a bright future ahead of them if they can re-sign some of these younger guys and Justin Fields stays healthy and they build an offensive line. At 19, we have the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are coming off an overtime win versus the Carolina Panthers, a game that shouldn't have went to overtime, but it did. So the Vikings have had a lot of struggles this year. Like, literally, they could easily be 5-1, but they're weird. I mean, too many mental mistakes on that team. They just don't play very good football mentally. The coaching is a problem. Kirk Cousins is a problem. And yeah, I said it. Kirk Cousins is a problem. He's not that good. Let's be real at this point. He's not very good at football. If you see his record against solid teams, it's just bad. At 18, we have the Carolina Panthers are coming off a loss versus the Vikings, obviously. Sam Darnold looks back to his normal self. I mean, I don't know what to say about him. He played well down the stretch towards the end of that game, but at the same time, I don't know. Sam Darnold just doesn't seem like a very good football player. I was never high on him in the draft, and look at him now. Just not fun for the Panthers. Don't know when Stephon Gilmore's playing, but they need players like that back quick. At 17, we have the San Francisco 49ers, another team that's usually injury-riddled. They don't know who their quarterback is going to be. Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo are both injured, and the 49ers don't know where they're headed at right now. So the 49ers could be in for a rough season again. They really don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say. Was this team just a one-year wonder? We really don't know. I want to see more, but at the same time, maybe. At 16, we have the New England Patriots. The Patriots are coming off a heartbreaking loss versus the Dallas Cowboys. The Patriots, I think they're better than 2-4. They're a solid team. They're better than 2-4. They're a well-coached team. They got a solid rookie quarterback. I think things are trending in the right direction for them, even if they lost. They do get the Jets, so they can definitely regroup and everything. At 15, we have the Indianapolis Colts. They're coming off a huge 31-3 win over the Houston Texans. Not surprised there. T.Y. Hilton came back and had a decent game. Carson Wentz is looked much better now. The chemistry between him and the offense looks much better. Frank Reich is definitely helping out. I think if the Colts beat the Ravens, they're probably like 11 or 12. But, they're a solid team. At 14, we have the Tennessee Titans. They play Monday night. Let's see what they can do. They're playing Buffalo, but I'm not sure. At 13, we have the Cleveland Browns, and they are coming off a blowout loss versus the Arizona Cardinals, 37-14. This team is no longer a Super Bowl contender, and I'm a Browns fan. It's disappointing, but it's true. Too many injuries. Nobody's stepping up. The coaching has been pretty inept this season, starting from the defensive woes, the terrible schemes by Joe Woods, basically turning elite, solid NFL players into trash players, and the inept ability of Kevin Stefanski not taking accountability in his coaches and some of the bad players. It's just not there, and this team doesn't look like they're ready for anything. They might not even make the postseason, but we'll see. At 12, we have the New Orleans Saints. They are coming off a bye as well. Jameis Winston, like I said, don't know if he's the franchise guy. We'll see next week what he can do. But the Saints look like a solid team still. But, At 11, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. They're coming off a big win over the Washington football team, 31-13. They're still one of the best teams in the NFL, and Washington still, isn't a very good team, but the Chiefs, I think they might be in for a hot streak, and they could be back in the top 10 by next week, so watch out for that. And Mahomes is throwing more picks, but Tyreek Hill is dropping a lot of balls. It's weird. At 10, we have the Las Vegas Raiders coming off a big win over the Denver Broncos. The Broncos aren't very good. I believe that was a home game for them too. Yeah. But the Raiders shined without John Gruden. It's weird because every time a team fires a coach, it seems like they win their first game without them. I honestly don't have any understanding about that. It's so weird. I don't know if you guys realize that either. Almost every time, a team fires a coach, next game, they go out and win. I don't know why. At 9, we have the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are coming off a blowout loss versus the Baltimore Ravens, 34-6. This makes the Cleveland Browns look bad. A lot of teams. This makes the Chiefs look worse. Wow. Justin Herbert was not on his A game. Marlon Humphrey showed why he's one of the best players in football defensively and all around. But they're going to have to regroup next week. Brandon Staley was definitely outcoached by John Harbaugh. I think John Harbaugh has basically outcoached the whole NFL this season. He probably should be the leader for Coach of the Year. At 8, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. They are 4-2 coming off a blowout win over the Detroit Lions, and they have shown they're a top 10 team in football, and they have some solid talent. Everyone was screaming, fire Zach Taylor and stuff, but not anymore. I mean, he could even win Coach of the Year. I mean, he's been great in the locker room. He's been definitely inspiring this team to go out and just play their game. The Bengals look like a solid team overall, and there's a reason why they're second in the AFC North. At 7, we have the Green Bay Packers. They're coming off a win versus the Chicago Bears. And yes, Aaron Rodgers still owns the Chicago Bears, as we all know. So 24-14, solid game all around for the Packers. No issues. They put up enough offense. They put up enough defense. Well-coached game by the coaching staff. And yeah, I think nothing concerns me about the Packers. They've now won 5 in a row. At 6, we have the Dallas Cowboys, and they are coming off a big win versus the New England Patriots on the road, 35-29. CeeDee Lamb had a big game, 9 receptions, 149 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Cowboys are trending in the right direction. They look very good this year, and Dak Prescott looks like an MVP candidate after that gruesome injury. At 5, we have the Los Angeles Rams, obviously coming off the big win versus the New York Giants, and Matthew Stafford looks good as well. The whole Rams team looks good. The offensive line is one of the best units in football. Darrell Henderson's a solid back. Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods is a great wide receiver duo. And the defense is obviously shining as usual. So yeah, with Aaron Donald leading the way. So the Rams look like a Super Bowl contender this year. At 4, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off the Thursday Night Football win over the Eagles. Tom Brady's playing the best football of his career. He's got the surplus of wideouts. He has 3 wide receiver ones, arguably, and it's definitely paying off. The defense still has a little bit of questions, but I think it's turning around slowly. At 3, we have the Baltimore Ravens coming off the big win over the Los Angeles Chargers, and they ran the ball very well. It wasn't the greatest passing game by Baltimore, but the running game definitely showed up. Obviously, the coaching has shown up, and the Ravens have proven to be the best team in the AFC North at 5-1. Even if they've gotten lucky some games. At 2, we have the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are coming off they're playing Monday Night Football. They're coming off the week where, they obviously destroyed the Kansas City Chiefs on the road, which was pretty impressive, so, yeah. But, at the same time, the Bills are people will say they're the best team in football, but I'm still going to go with another team at number 1, obviously, and I think we know who that is. Josh Allen's an MVP candidate again. The defense is special. It's just a special unit. But at 1, we have the Arizona Cardinals, no doubt about it. Kyler Murray, what a career year he's having, could be the front runner for MVP at this point. He has everyone to throw to. DeAndre Hopkins, A.J. Green, Christian Kirk, Rondale Moore. I mean, it's crazy. Chase Edmonds and James Conner look like Pro Bowlers. I mean, this Arizona Cardinals team is something. J.J. Watt looks like his 2014 self. So, yeah. But I appreciate everyone being your sports expert here. Please hit the subscribe button if you're new. Turn on post notifications. Like the video. Comment what you think. I'm out, guys. Sports expert here. Peace.